Hello, hello, hello. Coach Tay back here again. We're gonna get into some pro play analysis now. So I did I think there's a CLO championship a little while ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. And now we're gonna get some LPL games going on. We got FPX versus RNG. This is FPX's sixth game of the season and RNG's fourth game of the season. This is 11.12, so they're still behind one patch. Which is why they're most likely banning away, or FPX at least is banning away Ezreal first pick, or first ban, which is all right to ban first. I think, especially when you're thinking about the B1 pick, it's very easy to take Ezreal if that's where you're leaning towards, because it gives you a lot of ability to play pretty much anything support. Ezreal compared pretty much anything. You can play the Roam playstyle, and 11.12. I'm guessing as 11.13 does drop in these eastern regions, I do still think that the top side will be primarily dominated by early game skirmishers. We're thinking Kali, we're thinking Viego, we're thinking Nocturne, we're thinking Renekton, we're thinking Lee Sin, we're thinking a bunch of those type of champions. I could be missing a few there, but I can't really remember what I just said anyways. Regardless, Ezreal being taken away, they're going to take away Senna. Now, Ezreal is a response pick to the Senna pick, but when you do pick Senna, you can obviously pair it with a lot of different things, and in the LPL, I could imagine them taking a lot of different spicy picks. Okay, you can flex Nocturne bot. I do believe that is a potential flex, Senna and Nocturne. You have obviously the Tom Kench. Tom Kench hasn't dropped yet, so you still have the ability to play him in the Senna TK, although I don't know, maybe there's some tinkering going on with how they're looking to spice things up in 11.13. But for now, we will assume Senna is being taken away because, again, they just do not want to have an absorbed lane now that Ezreal's off the table. But Akali being taken away again is perfectly fine. It's a very, very easy B1 pick, which is why it's a little bit weird to ban it on blue side, but it does mean that they are thinking that, okay, maybe they're going to ban away like a different B1, like a Gwen, Viego, a lot of different things, but they're probably going to pinch this this top side skirmish pool if I were to hazard a guess. But again, I haven't seen this game. I haven't really seen any LPL style games either, but Xin Zhao being banned away again is those topside skirmishers, okay? And when I mean topside, I do incorporate jungle in that 3-man switch picks. We'll call it the 3-man instead of the topside. But Xin Zhao being taken away, it still leaves up a lot of potential for early game skirmishes. We still got Nocturne, still got Lee Sin, Gwen, Viego. Thresh being taken away is fine. It allows you to play 11 playstyles. You can play the Lantern, you can play the Aftershock all in, Lantern with Guardian. But now that you're taking away Thresh, there's nothing really you want to respond to the support bans. Although you could, no, I think Leon will be more of a second round ban, but this might be a Gwen. Or it's a Lucian. Lucian's also a flex top mid. It's going to give you a lot of priority, especially if they are picking early game melee assassins. But Gwen's still up, Viego's still up, Salas is still up, although it's more of a B3 or whatever. Lee Sin's still up, and Renekton, which you just saw them show. I do think Lee Sin would be a lot better to take because it takes 3 ways instead of 2, but Renekton is perfectly fine because it is, at the end of the day, something that is contested, highly contested. Do I like Lee Sin or Renekton more? I'm just going off of what they had over here. Or do I like Gwen more? I like Gwen most of all because it gives you AP, although AP junglers are ones that are probably going to be picked here. So you're thinking Diana, Rumble are still up, Nocturne's still up. It's just this double flex is not, I think, as valuable. Although if you're trying to play hard topside, this is obviously one of those picks that's going to do it for you, but it's also going to allow you to absorb pressure as well. So not just all in on skirmish potential, but also absorb. I like to think as Renekton is a pick that can deny, not effectively, what's it called? Not effectively, be something you have to play for, but rather something that you can deny the enemy team's pressure. Okay, so R1, R2, we are thinking a flex pick probably right here, and then maybe like an AD that may secure an AD that's contested, something like a Kaisa. is still open. They could take a Leona, although I think allowing first rotation support counter pick is just not good. But I do expect to see a or maybe even jungle, like a Rumble Diana is still up, Nocturne is still up. Set would be a very easy flex pick here. You can go top, mid, and support. They're going to take the Rumble. Obviously, Rumble's very, very good this patch. Has a lot of early game skirmish potential, a lot of damage, especially when you get to full stacks. Or fully stacked passive. And then now you're going to be able to pair it with some AD going on. So if they do pick the Lee Sin here, they can also take Viego. Nocturne is very good R3, and so is Viego. They're going to respond with... No, there's no way they're picking Karthus. Although it would be fine to pair. Okay, so they're going to pair it with an AP jungler. This could potentially be flexed mid, but obviously... Okay, so they're going double AP topside, which is a little bit awkward, but I think when you're thinking about Gwen's just going to do the damage regardless, right? Viego's open, Nocturne's open. Leona's looking a little less valuable right now. So I do think Viego, Nocturne are set as well. Set's fine too. It's going to deal with Diana if you need it, and also Renekton to peel. So this is fine. Obviously, Viego and Nocturne would have to be taken topside, whereas Set can also be flexed bot side if that's something they're choosing to do. So I think that is a little bit more valuable. It's just that you've selected your topside in the top three, the first three blue side picks, which means that you can get a lot of value from bans, the second ban phase. So things that are less desirable to go against for your Gwen or your Renekton, now you can just ban them away. They're banning away Lulu, which I think is whatever. I don't think it gives you too much, although Lulu mid is off the table. They could try and now absorb, which is why they're trying to maybe pick like a Leona here or whatnot. It's also a counter into Set support, so they are just taking away something that could absorb because they really want to play around this top side right now. But here I'm thinking more AD, potential AD bans. It's just that if you commit, they just take the Set support and then they ban away another Enchantress support that's really going to make this life really hard to do. But Nocturne ban, I love this a lot. I'm thinking maybe Viego if they respond here. If they respond here with an AD ban or something like that, although I don't really see why they would. You could just ban away Viego, seeing as this would be hard to deal with. Although it could go either way. It could go a lot of different ways, but I just think... Okay, so they ban an AD away from here, they might want to ban away the Viego now. Because Set can still go multitude of different ways, and I guess they're not really, because Set can still go support, but they're not banning away supports because they've already banned away one. Kai'Sa taken away would be very good for them. Kai'Sa, very, very good for them. It just means that you're going to be able to help topside a little more. I think all in all, Kai'Sa is a little bit weird of a pick to be taking for blue side, because they have such a strong blue side. Although, now that I'm looking at things, I'm trying to think, because Kai'Sa is going to lose earlier on, right? If Kai'Sa loses and they pick in Kai'Sa right here, and let's say we take an AD, and then we counter support, keeping the Set flexed. Okay, let's just imagine that we take, I don't know, something that would get priority and do fairly well would be like a Varus, although Varus has gotten nerfed over the days. Just imagine we take Varus into Kai'Sa, okay? Just imagine it for a second. Kai'Sa is going to get pushed in, and we also have counter in the support position, which means that if they take support here, we would just counter it, and now all of a sudden bot has push. And what this means for early game is now all of a sudden the support can then try and get numbers advantage topside. And it gives a lot of tempo, but it also increases the pace of the game in favor of red side. And when you think about advantages, especially with these skirmishes and these skirmish type comps, you really got to be careful, because if the support's going to be the reason for this happening, then this Kai'Sa pick is actually one of the reasons why it's going downhill. Again, you are blue side, so you're going to have to give away that counter support if they're wanting you to not have it. But you take a look at Lee Sin already, you take a look at Rumble, you take a look at Set, they do have a very strong top side if they want it to be this. They have to take AD here, and then they would keep the Set flexed. So Varus is being locked in, and if they were to take the Kai'Sa here, I don't know what they would take. They could take... Okay, so they are going to take the Callista. Now it's a little more of a skirmish bot lane. They don't have Thresh Callista. They don't have Callista set. I do like the fact that they would leave the Callista open because Callista's falling through with things to do. They can take Taric to counter the potential engage. That pick was in G2 versus Fnatic when Fnatic got away with picking that. But Nautilus is also a decent pick here. I just don't think that Nautilus blind, although it is an LPL region, so nevertheless, it'll give you some value, especially with Callista, especially the engage. Again, all these guys want to go in. They could counter it with something very, very super strong with Braum, Taric. Yeah, disengage. I think Tahm Kench is fine. Do I like Tahm Kench the most here, though? It's weird because you can ult, right? As Nautilus, you have Gwen who's going to tank, melt tanks. You're going to have the Diana. It's good into Diana. It's all right into Renekton if he wants to E, flash, W, and then E or something like that to get on. Or like some sort of combination of the E and flash or whatnot onto your carries. But I don't think Tahm Kench is the pick here. I think you have melee, and then ranged, obviously. But you could follow it up. I think Braum or Taric is just 10 times better because these guys are going to come into you. They're going to have the Nocturne or the Nautilus. They're going to have the Callista ult, Diana, and whatnot. I think Tahm Kench is obviously a fine pick. It's going to give you some value, but I don't think it's going to give you the value you're looking for here. But with that being said, who wins draft? Top side, I would actually say RNG wins. I think this matchup is going to dictate who wins. I think if Gwen gets a lead, it's going to be very, very over. Gwen's just OP. This is very, very known. So Set has to do the most here. It's just that I think Set has to get some sort of lead earlier on. With that being said, roam timers for these supports are very, very important. So things to watch out for are the support roams, if we can get any. If Callista gets fed, something else you have to watch out for. And one of the things that's kind of weird is FPX wants to get their top ahead, their set, but RNG wants to play for the Callista. Because if you don't play for Callista, you're kind of just wasting this value, whereas you could have just picked something else, right? Because Callista is one of those champions you want to play for. Okay, so this pick is really, really awkward now. You have the Tahm Kench who's going to absorb. So that's another bonus for this Tahm Kench that obviously they want to play for their bot lane. Plays around 6 for their mid. Potential TP. So we're going to see some potential dives, 4-man dive, especially because Renekton should win this matchup earlier on and get the priority going into the earlier levels, probably from anywhere from 1 till 7 to 8. And then obviously if something gets skewed because of a really good roam by Tahm Kench here or a decent gank by Tien. Okay, so that being said, I think top side wins in favor of RNG, which is weird considering blue side. But they will have the bonus here for that Tahm Kench pick. It's very, very weird. We're going to see a very, very interesting game, to the least. Oh, with that being said, they're picking Renekton. Okay, this is a little bit better here. The Renekton going top into the set. This matchup can go both ways. We did see Figure get solo killed. But I think Renekton heavily outplayed. Okay, yeah, that would make more sense. I don't think Gwen was supposed to go mid there. It just doesn't make sense because the matchup mid can go both ways then. Whereas if you take Renekton mid, now all of a sudden it's very, very good for RNG. Okay, so we're going to go. Is there anything out of the blue here? We do see second win taken here. Versus bone plating. Okay, so the all-ins are going to be a little less daunting on Doinpy. If he does get all-in, he's thinking about potential roams closer to 6. That's why he's going to take this, because he's not going to take as heavy of those trades. Nothing else. We do see this combo here, which means she just wants to power farm, not do too much. She wants to play on her flash if she can. We do see the bone plating here, which is also very nice. But Gwen can take her fights. Obviously, this is more keyed towards Gwen's W. It's very nice that way. but nothing too out of the ordinary here. We do have Second Wind. It's a little bit weird as Second Wind as a melee versus melee support, but he's probably primarily thinking about, okay, wait a minute, this guy can poke, and there's not going to be too much value if I do take the bone plating. Okay, but I do like the bone plating on the support pick here. We do see a lot of time or tonic. Those are obviously taken to have a lot more sustain, and a lot of the other runes in that talent, or in that, sorry, talent, not talent tree, but in that rune page, in the inspiration tree, isn't as good for the game plans that are coming out here. Cookies is going to get a little more value if you do take time or tonic, but I do like stopwatch as a rune in this game quite a bit, actually. Especially when you think about how you can sort of win the spot lane is trying to dive at that 6 mark, okay? Can we get in the game? Cool. What happened level 1? Just 5 points on both sides. Nobody looked to get the ward down in the bot side, in the bot bush there. We do see some aggression coming in from the red side. They did get that ward on the red buff, so they're going to know exactly where the Diana starts, which is very nice for them to see. When I'm thinking about jungle pathing, Rumble wants to path into, probably into bot side, actually. No, they want to get a lead on sets. They want to play top side in some sort of regard. I do like the fact they went to Ghost here. This actually looks pretty baller. I haven't seen that too often in NA, but it is NA, so. I do think that Diana does want to path probably into bot side, okay? Because this skirmish potential, this 4v4, I think actually wins in their favor quite hard. It's just that Set's going to look for that TP if he needs to, so I think Gwen might want to try and slow down the wave, turn on the wave. So I do think Diana wants to path down into bot side and play with the Kalista a little bit, whereas Rumble might want to play away from that path top side. Things that could have skewed this, obviously if you took a different support, it'd be a little bit different. But playing for your set is something we need to do in this game, because if Gwen just gets to that point in that game where she can just do whatever she wants, which could come very, very quickly, it's not cool. You know what I mean? It's not fun. I should full screen this, and hopefully I'm still good to go. Okay, it's looking nice. Okay, so yeah, not too much to do here. It looks like both junglers are going to look to full clear. Is there going to be any sort of mispathing here by our bot laners? Doesn't look like it. Both laners are going to come together. So what this means for both sides is now bot side has to absorb and try and let the wave push into them, or get a cheater recall, knowing that Diana is probably going to look to full clear. And then similar to top side might actually look for a dive, considering that we can get a sub 315 clear. And on that third wave, we're going to depend, we're going to try and see what happens with the Renekton. So Leeson might try and ward top side, or keep eyes on the Renekton. Okay, but I can already see at this point that Renekton is not trying to cover this, because if we were trying to do that, this wave would be slower, much, much slower, and still in the middle here. This is something that Chovy and Knight are very, very good at. So we're going to sort of see this wave stack up. He's going to be able to contest this level 2. I want to bounce back up here because this is really, really important. He's going to be able to hit level 2 first, but this wave is way too quick, which means that he's going to bounce back on that second wave, and the third wave is going to be coming back into him. It's going to stack up right here, and they're both going to hit level 3, which means now the advantage that they might have been able to push earlier on is now not there. When I'm thinking about advantages, because Renekton has control over the wave, it's such a dominant force, I'm thinking that we want to be able to try and cover this dive if it does end up happening, or we want to try and cover some sort of pressure, or if there's a fight bot, which is very, very possible, we want to know, because we just want to make sure that we're winning this early game, right? Play with the jungler, because I don't think you can solo kill Lee Sin ever. I think it's very, very hard to do, and Doinby has to really mess up. So Set's already winning this lane, which is expected at this point, especially because Diana's pathing away, and they knew that. And so we're slowing it down just a little bit. He is giving autos here and there, which is a little bit awkward, because, again, the same thing's going to happen where this wave is going to crash. Maybe a little too soon. Actually, I think it's actually fine. Okay, so Rumble's going for an early gank down into mid. He's taking advantage of this a little bit. He's trying to force, actually at Raptors. Oh, he was trying to go mid because he saw that maybe Renekton made a little bit of a mistake. Or if that E hits, I think it's a little bit different. I like this chunk by Tien, because at this point he knows that Diana's pathing into bot. He can path into top. And so this chunk here, he knows he's not going to get into any sort of skirmish. 2v2, 3v3, anything like that, he can afford to give away HP. But also, jungle's just OP, so if you're trading HP for a laner's HP, you're sustaining the jungle is crazy, so it just doesn't really matter. That's just really, really helpful towards Doinb. And then it actually hard capitalized on the fact that Cryan, again, back here when we were talking about having that wave just in a really awkward position it is right now. I do think that if Doinb was talking to Rumble, that he was actually saying, hey, after Wolves, can you come mid? That's a horrible line. Can you come mid and just sort of chunk him out? I'll win lane now. But Set crashes on second wave, with wave coming back. He probably wants it in a position again for Rumble to come and gank and try and get that ghost out. Now, Doinb is going to get the tempo in this lane. He's going to try and stack this wave, and I hope next wave, and then push if he can. Keep that wave as long as possible because he knows he's going to be more useful into the mid and late stages of the game. Any sort of lane dominance you can get out of mid lane is going to be very, very nice on the side of FPX. Now this is a little bit of an awkward position because the wave is pushing into them and they can sort of shove or hold this. Actually, it might be skewed. It depends how quick this takes to die. And it depends how many autos are given. Okay, so that was a little bit of an int, I think, auto by Ming. I think if you let it die with like 2 HP left, this is still very viable, and you do have Sweeper coming from Nautilus, so you might want to wait a little bit. Especially with this timer, you can do this. Again, this is expected, but you may be able to deny a couple minions here, because I don't think you ever get a kill. You might get a flash from the bot lane, but again, they are looking to push back. And actually, as we say that, Set is actually going to get solo kill here. Why did this happen? Okay, so I actually think this is poorly played on the side of Naguri. Because remember this second wave push? What you do when you do this is you push this wave in, and look how... I wish I could pronounce this name, but I actually can't. Look how Gwen is level 1. He can, if he just slows this down and doesn't shove this as much, he denies. I don't know if he has cooldowns actually. He has his E, so he can actually hard deny him, Gwen here, and he can just play around this bush aggro. I don't know how fast he was playing level 1, but obviously he was getting control of this wave. But if he stacks this next wave up here and then pushes it in, at that point, Rumble might be in tune for coming for top side. It's just he came for that mid lane gank. And then he can either get a Trader Recall off because he doesn't have to contest his top side Scud, and then he can come back to lane, and then he's on the back end here. And I know talking about cheater recalls is really, really basic, but at the same time, when you're thinking about all things considered, how Diana's pathing bot side, Rumble's pathing top side, it's just really awkward to ever die here. And if you're going to be on equal standing, which means that Naguri is going to be level 3 when Gwen is also level 3, it just doesn't make too much sense. And then the inevitable happens where Gwen gets a solo kill because Gwen's OP, and then whatever. But it's a little bit awkward now. And then Flash also down. But actually, look at the wave. Oh, he's going to push. I think he could have actually just froze here and look for base. But he has TP. And this is going to be really awkward. He's not going to be able to shove this in time. I think this is really bad by Gwen here for trying to push this. Watch. Because now he's going to have to burn TP as well. Whereas before he could have just based and then maybe gotten lucky with it. Diana and... Okay, this is really good roam by Lee Sin here. Okay, that's actually why they were trying to auto the wave. They were trying to bait this because they knew that Lee Sin was going to have priority here. That was so smart by FPX. Okay, well, it's misplayed horribly. But if they timed a little bit better, maybe they had vision here, this would have gone a lot better to plan. But this actually looks really, really nice. Because Lee Sin was playing off that tempo that we discussed a little bit earlier. And then he comes bot here. And then Tom Kench is like, hey, let's just bait this. Okay, Tom Kench in patch 11-12 is pretty good against melees, obviously. And so this skirmish is nice. Forcing Callista is a little bit awkward, obviously, but whatever. Although, now that I'm thinking about it, if Set TP's bot, it's a little bit different, obviously, because Set TP's right here, and then you see boom, boom, from red side. Rumble's coming down. They can play it really slow. It's a little bit awkward still because it is a 4v3 for the time being. Lee Sin's very strong here. Set could come here and then whatnot. They don't have sums. It's just you've already lost top. And so if you do TP bot, Gwen pushes in and you lose like 2.5, 3 waves, which is horrible. So I don't think Set can actually TP bot here. Gwen's going to TP back to top. And now Diana, and now it looks like RNG is going to hard win this early game, which I don't think should have. You know what? In topside, I don't think it was supposed to happen. Ooh, close. That was really close. He's going to get him anyways. He's dead. Okay, so Doinby's got the lead. I think that's where you want it if you're going to have it, other than Set. Rumble's also there for the kill. It's quite nice, but in terms of what's going on around the map, I think RNG is still very, very happy. Clissa's got that lead, and then we're also thinking about flashes and whatnot. Okay, so he uses E. He gets that W. He's just super, super strong. He's got the base stats, and he's also got the W stats, and he just goes in for the solo kill. He burns the flash, doesn't get the W from the middle W damage there, and then he's just going to be able to get that, which is very, very nice for the Gwen. Gwen is not going to be able to dive with Diana here. He's just going to be able to shove this and then look to just hop off. Not too much to think about right here. Again, if Diana were to try and come, Renekton needs to be there as well, because we also know that Rumble should be topside here, because that wave was still pushing for quite a long time. Okay. Gwen's going to learn, try and get some sort of vision. This is something that's very, very overlooked when you're able to get these pushes in. A lot of players, especially in solo queue, they just don't do stuff like this, which is just super, super crucial, because now this gives so much information to Diana. Diana's like, okay, wait a minute, I can go like this. And my bot lane can go like this. And maybe we can get something going right here with Renekton as well. Gwen is able to get this TP, or this roam timer off as well. Something you can look to do is for Gwen to come straight here for a dragon, and then you can secure this bot side drag. It's just a little bit awkward because then Set has a chance to get closer into the game, something you obviously don't want, but I do think is something that is possible. Map movements are still pretty linear. They're just going to both path down into bot. We might see something happen around Dragon. Lee Sin is going to finally get to base and then spend probably closer to 1.3k gold, 1.5. Iron Spike and Ruby Crystal, which is fine. Thinking about bot side, they're going to want to contest this. Renekton doesn't have TP, so worst comes to worst. Renekton's going to need to fight. Lee Sin's very, very close to level 6, and so he might actually get out off this wave, off this cannon, if he's been collecting as much as he can. He's not going to hit 6 unless it's this minion right here. Oh, he is 6. Whoa, 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 whoa. So it is the cannon that he is 6. Again, the 530 wave, if you've been collecting as much experience as possible, means you're going to get that off the cannon there. So now he's just going to deny, which is amazing. It's just that I don't think this is going to do too much. I think denying the cannon there is really huge, very, very nice. Denying this as much as possible. Keeping Renekton sub 30 CS is very nice, especially with the experience. But as soon as you're done this, I think you need to go down into bot, okay? Because getting this first drag is really, really crucial, I think. And getting the dragons rolling could be a win condition for this team. But saying that, they might just give it, because he's not even level 6 yet. Yeah, Rumble's got no camps topside. Diana just base. They don't know that, obviously. But, oh my goodness, that Gwen is just OP. I think he's just dead. Oh my goodness. So Gwen is just taking over the game now. Oh no, and Doinby. No, now you can't contest Dragon. This is so bad if they just go for Drag now. If they just go to cover bot side, maybe? I feel like they should know Rumble's bot here. 100%, especially because that ward. They should know. Gwen doesn't need help at all. You don't need to be topside. Just go for bot side here. And then these guys can bait it maybe. And you can play with your Callista. I think these rotations are really, really awkward here. Really, really awkward rotation. They do have Varus Flash, but you don't have Flash in your bot laners. So this dive is very, very warranted. If Rumble was 6, would be a lot nicer. But this Dredge isn't being contested. Maybe they want to contest the Rift instead. Save stuff for Rift. Play off 6. Play off Jungle 6. But that Lee Sin, Like the CS difference is still the same. Again, that lane would have been hard over if Lee Sin would have gotten that kill in the dive, but it's just super, super. It's 1v1. And when you think about pro play, you don't really ever see stuff like that happen. Um, you do obviously see some flashy plays here and there, but I think the map play is much more desirable, right? Um, but actually, the CS lead is getting kind of bigger. Okay, so Tom Kench is topside here. They are going to play for the Rift, or they're going to try and maybe try and shut down this Gwen. And remember what I said, Tom Kench and Nautilus, we want to think about who gets tempo in these bases and who gets tempo and who gets shove, whatnot. And I do think as you do get up, and away, Tom Kench was able to get that. But that might actually have been because of the death. Let me just back it up a bit here. Oh no, it was because they were playing weak side here, and they were able to get the tempo. They're just going to shove here. Okay, it's because they're playing weak side. So they make a really good play here. They're like, okay, let's just go for topside rift, try and save something topside. Now, as that happens... Okay, hold on. This is int. This is int. This is int. This is so int. Okay? Your support's coming. You guys are screaming, okay, we're coming topside, we're coming topside, we're going to play rift. You have the ability to just hold this wave here, and then when this next wave comes, that's when you look to shove. Like, this wave timing is just so awkward. I think Naguri must be tilted because he's just autoing the wave for no reason. Auto, auto, W, auto, E, auto, 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 auto. And now the wave is frozen. And now the timing is really, really off. He's screaming, I need help, I need help, I need help. And then Tom Kench walks over a ward. Yeah, this is awkward as hell. Awkward as hell. They're going to go topside, get this kill. Oh my goodness, it's so sad. Gwen doesn't have TP, which is a saving grace, because now they can try and get some sort of, they can get Rift or whatever, which is how you can effectively get set back in the game by making maybe a TP play bot or making a play bot, because you do have that extra, like, I don't know, a couple second lead on them, but I don't think that's going to mean anything. They're going to get the Rift. They're going to get in, get out. They do hit them with the Nautilus. It's just this play took so long, and then they knew Tom Kench was over here because Tom Kench didn't have sweeper, and nobody sweeped throughout here. Nobody plays any pinks or whatnot. And then this ward is just MVP because now Nautilus comes up topside. And then, again, it's a little bit too late. They are going to get the Rift already. But it's a 3v3. We have exhaust on the what's it called? On the Tom Kench. So I think this is still fine. Tom Kench is going to probably get out. Yeah, I think this is fine. They just get in, get out. Nothing too serious to discuss there. But Gwen still got that lead. Nice rotation by Varus, just in case they did end up going bot side instead. And he's still going to be able to collect that wave bot here. So very, very nice rotation by Varus. I'm going to quickly see how they utilize this Rift here, which I would hope they give up on top and they go bot. They know TP timers on the Gwen. Oh, actually, this is kind of hard now because it's hard to dive that. They have both sums. So I don't know how they can use this Rift. I think they have to use it around Rumble ult when it comes back up. I don't know where he's going to be when that happens. It's probably going to be closer to when his topside camps respawn, so he's going to give up a little bit of tempo for his camps if he does want to go for bot side. Bot side wave is pushing in, is collecting. If they're going to hard shove this, it immediately tells you that they're going to go for drag instead. And then they're not going to look to dive. So they are hard shoving it. You can see in the bottom there of your screen. Yeah, they're hard shoving it. They're going to go for drag here. They're going to try and pressure off with the Rift if they can. Lee Sin doesn't have the ultimate up just about yet, but he will be up, I think, if they do contest this. I'm just going to give. Lee Sin is having a little bit of trouble getting this wave out to try and use this Rift. So it's going to be a little bit awkward here. Okay, now as I'm saying this, there might look to make a play down bot side here. This is gonna, or sorry, in the mid. Okay, so not Rumble's not gonna try and do anything. He's gonna be seen over a ward. Okay, whatever. You know, just do whatever. Okay, I just want to see how they use this because Rumble goes back topside now. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is all right. Although Gwen, oh my god, that sustain is OP. Holy crap. Yeah, Lee Sin just can't move. He just can't do anything. Renekton is just too strong right now. Rumble's going to be able to be here. Both supports are bot lane. They can't dive this, I don't think. Oh, they're going to go for the flash E. Very, very nice. It's not going to do anything. They don't have enough damage. Yeah, I don't think this does too much. Yeah, Renekton comes. He uses Rift mid. Such a bad Rift, unfortunately. It doesn't really give you any pressure. You're going to be able to get a lot of play, or you're going to two plays mid, rather. But there's really nothing you to get as a byproduct, which really kind of sucks. Okay, he's going to burn flash. Now bot lane now they can play around this. I think Kalista should play around this now, and RNG should absolutely play around this. So I'm going to quickly wait until they do something around this bot lane, because I'm really interested to see how they're going to play around that flash, if they do it all. But is it Tahm Kench? Tahm Kench does have exhaust. Okay, I think RNG just going to hard win this, because they can't... Oh, and Lee Sin is W and kick and flash. Oh. Okay. Yeah, okay, this is just... Orange, yeah, and then you take a look at top. He's just gonna dive. You just dive. Oh, damn it! Wait, low key could have auto. Okay, that was his last ult or what? If that was his last ult, whatever. But I was thinking maybe he could have auto tower and then ulted again. But I don't know if that's his last stack. It looks like it does if you take a look up here. But all in all, RNG hard won this early game. Set was just really just blowing it. Lee Sin couldn't really do too much. Rumble couldn't really do too much. Tahm Kench just couldn't. You know, Tahm Kench was there to absorb. But again, like the top side ints are just kind of weird. So I think if you just fast forward, there might be a play here or there. Okay. Actually, as I'm saying this, Toynbee is popping off or what? Okay. So Doinby, looks like Doinby was actually playing really, really well. Okay, good for them. But in terms of the early game, RNG hard won that early game. Set didn't accomplish anything that he was supposed to, I don't think, especially when we're thinking about the draft. If we quickly go back to the draft. Again, Set was a response. It could have went support, it could have went whatever, and again, Set's going to lose that Kalista because Kalista's just going to be able to, or actually it won't lose, but Set's not going to be as good. I don't think it's going to be as valuable in the support position if you do want to play hard topside. So I think this is all right to do. But again, if you're gonna have R5 support and send the Set into the Gwen, you got to do something else in that. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Doinby does end up hard carrying, or whoever hard carries. I'm not too sure. Tien could also be the one to hard carry. Naguri could also have gotten back in the game somehow. Actually, did he get back in the game? Yeah, he actually roughly did. He actually has. He did get back in the game really, really hard. Good for him. Good for him. But yeah, again, early game, hard goes into RNG's favor. Don't know what happened mid to late. Whatever sort of rotations went on, good by them, but we're going to leave it at that. Hopefully you learned something. We talked a lot about rotations and then draft, initial game plans, and how that coincides with the jungle pathing. Maybe some rotations with the supports roaming, and why certain plays are good and why certain plays are bad. So that's it. Thanks so much. Cheers.